Hey everybody, it's Chris Eads, known online as Wootini, here with another Gay Gamer video podcast. I want to start this episode with a movie review. It's not a new movie, it's actually an old movie that came out last year, but it's video game related and I just saw it, so I wanted to just talk about it real quick. I finally got around to seeing Monster Hunter, and it was not good. Basically, Mila Jovovich and her army squadron get transported to this other world where there's a whole bunch of monsters. Well, there's just the one monster, and then there's this other kind of monster, but there's a lot of them. Then at the end of the movie, they introduce a third monster, but that's basically it. It's kind of disappointing that way. Everyone is not a character, so they're clearly cannon fodder, and then it focuses on her, and she meets this guy who lives there who doesn't speak English, so there's the wacky, back and forth trying to understand each other kind of thing. That's it. There's no plot. She kind of wants to go home, but then she doesn't know, you don't know how to get home, so it's sort of like, whatever, so they just sort of meander through and fight monsters, and, that's basically it. So there's no, momentum. And then, in the last, 15 minutes, they introduce a bunch of other characters, and then suddenly there's a plot and a mission, and let's go do this, and we're going to fight this monster and do this, and all of a sudden it comes to life, and it's like, okay, now there's some forward momentum, there's a reason, there's a goal, something to move towards, but it's too late. And then, of course, at the end, it doesn't even really end, it's just sort of set up for a sequel that we're probably never going to see. So I was rather disappointed. Now, I don't know if you're a fan of the Monster Hunter games. There might be enough fan service in here that you'll be entertained throughout. I don't know. Anything weird, I just sort of was like, well, that must be something from the game. Certain things I knew from the game, like the cat people and whatever, but anything that was sort of weird, I'm just like, well, that must just be from the game. But, I never got into the Monster Hunter series. There was one game that had a demo, so I said, let me see what the fuss is about, and I tried it, and it was like, this is not for me. Although now that I think about it, this was a while back, so I don't know, I don't remember exactly very well, but it seems to me that one of my problems with the game is that there wasn't really a plot, there was no story. So in that case, maybe it is a very accurate adaptation of the game. So maybe you will enjoy the movie if you're a fan of the game. I don't know. I just don't think it was very well done. There's some great action in it, but it's relatively plotless and there's no story. So it's sort of meh. You just go from action set piece to action set piece. It's eh. But we finally got around to seeing it because we rented the disc. Yes, I still rent discs. I just wanted to say this because certain movies don't go to streaming platforms. So I have maintained my Netflix. Back when Netflix started, it rented DVDs and then DVDs and Blu-rays. But then they went to streaming, and but they still do rent discs through a side company. So I have maintained my disc rentals because there are some new movies that don't go to streaming right away, and I want to see them. And then there's also older movies that aren't ever on streaming platforms because they don't care about them, so then you can get them on disc. Sometimes you can't get them anywhere. They're not streaming, they're not on disc, it's whatever. They don't exist anymore, which is sad, but I will always continue renting discs, just for that reason alone, because not everything is on streaming, unfortunately. No matter how many streaming services you pay for, and we have a lot. There was one thing that I forgot to mention in the last episode when I was talking about the Nintendo Direct. There was one other thing that they announced that did catch my attention, and it caught the attention of a lot of other people too. And that was the casting for the new animated Mario Brothers movie. You know what I'm going to say. Chris Pratt as Mario, what the F? And I was just going to say, aside from his, sketchy political attitudes, but you can't really separate that anymore. You know, he came on and was like, I'm the doofy nice guy, and you're like, oh, we like you, Chris Pratt, and then you find out more about him, and it's like, oh, actually, you're problematic, Chris Pratt. Sorry. And you kind of seem like you might actually be kind of a jerk. I don't know. Not going to cast aspersions, but I do wonder what the hell they were thinking. Is he just going to do a bad Italian accent for the whole movie? Like, I don't get it. Like, I get that you need to have a celebrity voice cast for an animated movie. There are so many talented voice actors out there, and they just will never get cast in a big budget animated movie because they need celebrities. They need celebrity names to voice these characters to sell the movie. And I get that from a marketing standpoint and whatever, but there's part of me that's like, couldn't you have had Charles Martinet starring as Mario? That way you would have locked in the fans, and then you surround him with all the celebrity voices for all the other characters. That way it would have sounded super authentic, and everyone would have been happy. And you still could have sold it because there's a lot of other celebrities in there. But you've got the real Mario, so you've got the real Mario movie. So they put Charles Martinet in there. He's probably doing other voices. I don't even know if he'll be credited. I'm sure he's not going to do any major characters, but whatever. Pretty sure it's going to be a disaster, but we'll see. I will probably go see it, because it's not out till, you know, like next year or whatever. Because I'm going to the movies, as you know, again, using my AMC A-list, and I'm seeing movies, but I'm seeing adult movies. I'm not going to see kid movies. Like, there's a new Disney movie, Encanto, that's coming out soon, and while I would like to go and see that in 3D, I'm a little nervous about doing that, because I don't want to sit in a movie theater full of children who are not wearing masks because they're eating their popcorn and candy and soda. And, you know, like, kids make me nervous, because kids can't get vaccinated, and they go to school, and it's just, they're passing COVID everywhere, and kids just make me nervous. Like, adults don't always act right, but kids really aren't going to act right. So I'm not sure about seeing kid movies right now. But by next year, maybe, and I'll be able to see the Mario movie. We shall see. I also wanted to talk about the new trailer for Pokemon Legends Arceus that came out. I remain cautiously optimistic about this game. I think that just having an open... Like, part of me wants to wait for the reviews before I actually buy it, and the other part of me is like, no, just get it. You know you want to play it. Just buy it. The reviews aren't gonna... I mean, unless the reviews are all like, no, this is terrible, do not buy it. Which they're not gonna, because they're not gonna release it if it's terrible. So, it's gonna be fine. It's just, is it gonna be the kind of game I want to play? Which, with Pokemon games, isn't always the case. I do think that having an open world to explore will be enough for me, maybe. Just because it'll be more immersive, and I'll feel like I'm in that world, and I'm exploring it, and I'm capturing Pokemon and whatever. I'm a little nervous about these wardens that were introduced, because I fear that they may be like the gym leaders, where you meet a warden and they're like, oh, you're collecting Pokemon. How strong are your Pokemon? Let's fight my Pokemon. Let's battle. And I'm like, we've done that. We've done that 100 million times in every Pokemon game. Let's mix up the gameplay and try something new. So, from what I've seen in these trailers, they are showing off a lot of new stuff, like riding Pokemon around and exploring and capturing wild Pokemon left and right. They may be downplaying the elements of the gameplay that are the same repetitive stuff as in the previous ones, just to try to drum up excitement and keep people like me excited about it. Because I wouldn't be excited if I knew it was just like every other Pokemon game, because I've played it, been there, done that. But I am still cautiously optimistic. And I also liked the fact that they showed off that you can like change your outfits, and that there's like, in the town there's like a little photo studio, and you and your Pokemon can pose for cute little pictures together. Because that's the kind of crap, the little like side things that I just love, and I can't get enough of, so yay. But it comes out in January, and I basically need to make sure that I am available in January to jump into that, and I'm not in the middle of some other game. Because obviously, I mean, I'm still doing the end game stuff of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but that's not going to last me until January. It shouldn't. So I'll probably start something else, but then it's like, what if I'm still playing that? I need to wrap that up. Because the other thing is that I don't want to get another Switch game because I keep buying these Switch games and then I never finish them. Like, I never finished Pokemon Snap. And then I have Ace Attorney, which I'm still working my way through, but very slowly, because, like, it's hard for me to play my Switch games now because when I'm at home, I tend to play my PlayStation on the TV. And if, like, my husband's watching a movie or a TV show, I'll take my Switch in the other room and I'll play, like, Animal Crossing, or I'll play some Ace Attorney or whatever. But I tend not to play a lot of Switch because I'll play my PlayStation instead. I'll play Valhalla. And I miss, like, going places, like commuting to work and going to the movies and doing all this stuff, and I would travel, and so I could play it on the subway, I could play it on the bus, I could play it on the train, like, whatever, and I felt like I was able to play more Switch. Like, that became my portable console, but it doesn't get a whole lot of portable use anymore with the pandemic, so I need to basically make myself play Switch on the TV and say, no PlayStation, Switch, Switch, because I'm definitely finishing Ace Attorney. That shouldn't take me till January either, but that'll be fine. As long as I'm done with it, then I can start Pokemon Legends, in theory. That's it for this week. I got nothing else to talk about. So come back next episode, and I'll talk about some more crap that you'll listen to for some reason. I don't know why you listen to me. But you do. Thanks. Bye!